Hi there, Ian here. So I said in my last video on eye strain that I would do a foot massage with a focus on helping support the eyes and headaches. So to start, I'm going to say I'm not going to focus very much on massaging the bottom side of the foot because I use all sorts of tools for massaging my foot. I keep these underneath my desk, a tennis ball, just a little glass bottle, and my favorite, a pine cone that I use all three of them as rollers for the bottom of my foot. And the really important point to hit on the bottom of the foot is, in acupuncture, it's kid U1. It's right in the middle, just behind the ball of the foot. If you squish your foot a little bit, there's a dimple there. It's right there, and you can find that. It's a fairly tender little spot. Just use your thumb to get in there and give some good pressure. So as the lowest acupuncture point on the body, it really helps energy sort of drain that might get, say, bunched up in the head from like focusing and thinking and looking really hard and staying focused, and the energy sort of gets clogged up, hence like that pounding over fullness in the head that is often associated with headaches and migraines. So this is really helpful, and as I said, I keep these underneath my desk to just sort of play with them with my feet to keep my sort of whole body involved and awake while I'm sitting at the computer. So our feet are so amazing, and mostly we just stuff them into socks and shoes and we don't think about them and we walk around on them all day, but don't really give them attention. The architecture and the bone structure in our feet is just genius. So it's really worth it. Even just like sitting and holding your feet really sort of like help connect the whole circuit of your upper and lower body and help bring your attention and awareness down into the bottoms of you. But to start, I'm going to stretch out the toes. So pulling a toe one direction and the adjacent in the other direction, and then the other direction, just back and forth to stretch out the webbing between the toes a little. And the focus is on just as much pressure as feels good. This is really about tuning into yourself and noticing what feels good. Back and forth between each of the toes. And then holding the ends of the long bones of your feet, these are the metatarsals, these long bones. Holding the end of the metatarsal of your pinky toe and the next one, and just rubbing them back and forth against each other. And then going to the next two toes, rubbing the metatarsals back and forth against each other. Next two. There's muscles in between those long bones, those metatarsals, called lumbricals. And they are intimately wired into all of our postural reflexes. And releasing those can be just deeply relaxing for the whole body. So the next thing we're going to do is going into the webbing between the toes and just giving it a little pinch and then rubbing that, again, just with the amount of force that feels pleasurable. And the next one, giving a little squeeze. These points between the toes, again in Chinese medicine, are used for draining heat. So getting that stuff that's bunched up here, over full in the head, to help drain down through the feet. Rubbing the webbing and rubbing the webbing. And we're going to go back to these lumbricals, the space between the long bones of the feet. And again, sort of rubbing, doing a little kind of like this with my fingers, as if you're squeezing toothpaste out between your toes. And the next set, rubbing and squeezing as if you're squeezing out gooey toothpaste. And the next set. And the last space between the toes. Nice. Alright, generally I use my knuckles to get into the bottom of the foot. The bottoms of our feet take so much pressure, between half and all of your body weight on each step, so they can deal with a lot of force, but just rubbing with my knuckles into the arch. Again, finding the amount of pressure, the speed that feels comfortable and good to you. If your feet are ticklish, then a firmer touch helps get past that. On the side of that medial arch. And then using the tips of your thumbs just to poke in there and see where feels good. Make sure that you hit that kidney 1 point. Again, that's in the center of the foot, just behind the ball. Make sure to give that, 5 to 10 seconds of pressure, 3 or 5 times. Then go to the jaw. Another really good point to hit is from the top of the foot, between the long bones of the big toe and the index toe. If you go up into that V, near the top of the V, you'll find a tender spot. It's like a little notch on the side of the index toe's metatarsal. So to go into the side of it, it would be a nice tender spot. Just to press and hold for a moment. This point is indicated for headaches and migraines, and again, helps drain your energy down, calm. It's often used in treatments for anxiety. Deep breath out, sound effects help, blah, 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 blah. Great. And putting both your feet on the ground. Noticing any sensations of symmetry or asymmetry between your feet. I'm gonna, after I stop recording, gonna do my other foot because it's feeling jealous right now. But just to close up, find your fingers touching in the middle, sort of midline, and then follow your fingers out, 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 staying, looking in the middle, but just go back. Maybe you can wiggle your fingers so you can see the movement on both sides at the same time, and keep moving your hands back until you can just barely see the movement on both sides, sort of taking in a much wider view in terms of your peripheral vision, taking in all your peripheral vision. Lovely. Thanks for joining me. I'll keep adding to this. Take care.